before this point.
Sweet.
Um,
All right, everyone slate. My name is Jesse Swatling Holcomb. I'm auditioning for a part of Dad's here.
And then last question. Oop. Don't switch. What are you set up to? Oh, that's weird. No, I don't want you to do that. No, don't do that.
Mo, I feel like the sun is right in your eyes. Are you alright?
Yeah.
Oh, and the music
maybe
is
I
better
can-
than ever before.
Ooh.
It's great.
Yeah, music's
Just
dope.
put it- Oh, there we go. I gotta be right in that middle.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
pull the shades down?
No,
Yeah.
I'm good.
No,
Thank you.
Hair adjust.
All right, so we quick recap of last time. We're found inside the Noble Hand Temple dungeon as we were all kind of captured by the Supreme Watcher and his Noble Hand Guardsmen under the suspicious events surrounding the disappearance slash maybe murder of Watcher Sim, and kind of in trying to prove Zunus's and Thad's innocence. Rowena and Ivo were also captured and imprisoned in the same dungeon, but all in different areas. And after many shenanigans and trying to figure out how to escape from this jail, you were successful in essentially like throttling a guardswoman, stealing the key from her, and then linking up with another set of criminals who were inside the prison, intentionally, as it turned out. And you were able to kind of rescue Zunus, who was actually jailed across from Captain Yao, who had been recently blinded in his battle trying to fight off the guardsmen as well. And kind of in recovering, in trying to recover your stuff and then recover Thad from his torture cell, you made quite a bit of fuss, got the attention of the warden, who Zunus essentially was like, whatever, these people suck, I don't like them anymore, and then essentially started to try to kill them. Thad thought the better of it, knowing all of these people for much of his adult life, and feeling as though he shouldn't. Saved her life. He then got the keys from the warden, that were the full jail cell keys that led up and out into really all of the other areas within this place. Gave the keys to your criminal compatriots who you offered to help outside of it. They thanked you for that, kind of went up the stairs and found their own way. At this point, you also bludgeoned Yao and trapped him separately, seeing that his use was no longer necessary. And then taking his advice, you were trying to figure out where he was hearing this strange noise from. And after a bit of struggle within the kind of storeroom slash kitchen area of the dungeons below the Noble Hand Temple, you found a secret passage that was connected to a hearth. There was a little stone step that, when initiated, would open this place up. And when it opened up, inside you revealed a kind of like artificially dug cave system that actually led down into the rock below. And that's where we're going to pick up. So as you guys are all
DM?
going...
Hey, Nate.
Yeah, please.
I think the music's getting a little powerful.
Oh, I can
over
start.
your
Yes.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
Mo and I had the same comment.
Yeah, he said what I was thinking.
Let me get to another song where it's a little bit louder. How's that? Is that too loud or is that better?
Can you bump yourself up?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Let me check. Let me check that.
It like crescendoed right when you started to talk, and then they kind of
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's just the track has like this weird, very loud portion. But let me double
Nate,
check.
is this like the kind of music you would like write papers to back in the day?
Not really. Although these days I do have it playing in the background because I find it's less distracting than things with audio.
Are you like, Lily, Henry, go forth and clean, and you have this music playing?
No, but I will try that next time. I think that's better. Does that sound? It's in kind of a quieter portion of the song.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll work out. So you are walking down this tunnel that does seem to kind of go on for a while. There is light at the end of it. It's not a very long tunnel, but it's about 30, 40 feet, and you can kind of notice it ramps downwards a bit. And at the end of the tunnel, there are the flickering lights of flame that you can kind of tell. So it seems like
Always a
it's
light at the
leading
end of the tunnel.
into a lit area.
Okay.
Who's going first? Thad, I think you were the person who opened it. But who's kind
I
of
can
going
go first.
Sure. Let me get a marching order here.
Oh, is there a screen to be shared that we should go
There
through?
is indeed. I will share that with you. Burp. Burp, 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 burp.
Ivo, is that a Twin Peaks cap upon your skull?
Four peaks, bro.
4 Peaks. Nice.
Did you mean to say Twin Peaks, or did you mean to say Four Peaks?
I did, because there's a bar called Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Twin
I
Peaks is
forgot
like
about
the
that.
it's like the I don't know, it's like a more sporty version of Hooters.
Yeah.
And
It's
Four
right
Peaks
next to,
Isn't it the girls?
they wear
The girls
kilts.
wear like kilts.
Yes.
Or,
Yeah.
Yes.
that's kilt lifter. Do they also wear kilts at Twin Peaks?
Twin Peaks they wear like just very tight clothing and often short skirts. Kilt lifter they wear short kilts. But I mean it's the same.
It's a fun place to take your wife.
It's not a very good place.
So you don't go to a bar, but you go there.
You're hilarious.
So
so
Thad's going
that's the
first.
dungeon.
What's the rest of the marching order here?
I'll go next after Thad. I'll go
Come.
second in tow.
Rowena, would you like to go third?
Yes, I'll go third.
Ladies first.
Indeed. Then we'll have
Zuni in the back.
Zuni in the back. So Thad, as you're kind of going through, I'd like you to roll a perception check for me.
Heck yeah. 16.
16. So you do notice that it does seem to widen as you get through. What you do notice mostly though about this tunnel system is it doesn't seem to be like ancient, so to speak. It's not a naturally made cave system. It was man-made. It's artificial, and it doesn't seem to have been dug that long ago. It's hard to tell exactly, although as a dwarf you kind of get a feeling for this. Like you're used to seeing things that are hundreds, if not maybe thousands of years old, kind of dug into the earth. This looks like maybe at most 20 years, 10 years, and it definitely looks artificial, although it is cut right into the stone. As you kind of notice going outwards, you do see that there's like the flickering light, and every so often the flickering light seems to be covered by a shadow, as if something or someone is walking in front of it. So there does seem to be people that are going to be up ahead.
Excellent.
Dad, what do you see out there?
Seems as though there are signs of movement ahead. I suggest we proceed with caution.
All right, I'm down for that.
You guys want to
Do
try?
we have
Yeah, please.
lanterns of any kind, or just that flickering light is the only light source?
The flickering light right now is the only light source. You guys don't have any lanterns, although you got all your stuff back, for the most part anyway. So if you guys had torches and things on you, you're fine. Although I do believe that many of you can see under here. Who
I
on
can
your
see in the
character
dark.
sheets? Yeah, who is dark vision?
I have
Got
dark
it.
vision 62.
Rowena.
So
Oh,
do
I forgot something.
And again, it's lit, so you can see, although it's dim. It's not pitch black in this area.
Mhm.
We have
Cool.
some oil and matches. We need to. I don't know if we can make a crude torch.
I think a bunch of you do have actual torches.
Oh, I have a lantern. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a source of light if you do want to light it, but in the space around you, you don't feel like you need it. Like there's enough light to see decently. If not like the world's brightest light, it might be dim, but you can see.
Okay.
Rowena, would you like to sneak up ahead and see if you can see anyone? Engage their hostility? I'm pretty loud in all this armor.
I'm very stealthy, so I'm happy to do that.
Sure. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me, Rowena.
11.
11. Let me just check that real quick. Yeah, that's enough. So you kind of start to peek out, and it's not your stealthiest moment. You're still a little beleaguered from the prison break you've been trying to work through. But you are able to kind of get to the end of where this tunnel kind of does seem to get a little bit larger into a more cavernous room. And you're just barely at the edge of it when you hear some footsteps. And just as quick as you can, you like push your head back into the tunnel so as not to get caught. And it does sound like two men are speaking in this space. They don't really seem to be speaking about anything in particular. They're just sharing news of the day, things about their families. One kind of mentions to the other that like their shift ends in probably another 30, 40 minutes, so they'll probably go to the communal area and get some food. So it sounds like there's a couple of guardsmen in here talking with each other.
Here's some guardsmen, Thad.
Hmm.
But they're being very casual. They don't seem to be on high alert.
And this is an area DM of the castle that's totally foreign and unknown to me, correct? Would I have heard anything about it?
No, this would be completely news to you that this is down here. And you would also get the sense that if you don't know about it, most of the other people don't know about it. Maybe you think the highest leadership, but you have no clue about this. You also know a lot of history about the Noble Hand Temple, and to your understanding, nothing but the dungeon is below the temple. So it's also not linking up with anything else that's kind of coming to your brain.
Well, I'm happy to go out and, try and talk to these guards. See if they are friendly or not.
Might they not know that you were recently arrested for murder?
They might. But if it's dark enough and I can stick to the shadows, perhaps I can make sure that they don't recognize me and deceive them into telling me a little bit more about what's going on down here. Or
Thank
I
you for
can
the
kill
hint.
them.
We do have all our weapons.
I feel like you didn't like it that we were killing all the guards, Dad. So I feel like you want to kind of be diplomatic first, and then potentially violent second.
I think we have to be ready for violence if it becomes inevitable.
Okay. Do you think you want to go alone, or do you want to have someone go with you, just in case?
We could have someone go with me. Who's feeling priestly?
Well, I feel like I need to
Zeus?
make up for all of my misdeeds earlier, so I'll join.
I'll be honest, actually. I'm and Zunis. Zunis is so recognizable. Sure, why not? Let's do it.
Was there someone else you were thinking of?
Well, I don't know. I don't necessarily have the gift of the gab. But if anyone is, skilled with the tongue, they might have a better chance just going in and pretending like they know what's going on down here.
All right, that's a great idea. We should send Rowena in.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, now you can. I don't always hear my echo in Mass Computer.
No,
Yes, I was saying I'm fairly persuasive.
Oh, okay. Sorry, couldn't hear you. But we got you now. I
think
persuade away. I'm gonna hide in the back.
you've sold me. Get on in there.
All right, fish man.
So, Rowena, you do walk kind of stride confidently into this space, and these two guardsmen see you walk up, and they're immediately stunned to see an unfamiliar face in this space. What you notice immediately is the guardsmen are of two different species. One seems to be elf or half elven, the other seems to be human. Both about the same size, both male, kind of younger, like below 30s. It's hard to say exactly, but around that time frame. They're not wearing the same revelry of the noble hand. So you're not seeing the Eye of Helm. You're not seeing any of the same colors or decorations. Instead, what you notice is that in their armor, on their tabards, you're actually seeing a symbol that you don't really recognize. Let me see if I can show it to you. Sorry, I have to pull that up real quick. Let's see.
It's like a cult within the cult.
Well, I mean, you guys aren't part of a cult, so to speak.
Cult within the religion, almost.
So you see. Hold on one second. I want to change what I named it. Image, because I don't want you to. No spoilers. You know what I mean? Glad I caught that now.
Great storytelling, though.
All right. So you see this symbol, kind of repeated in motifs on them.
And none of us are familiar with this said symbol.
Everyone roll a history check. The only person who's seen it right now is Rowena. So Rowena, roll a history check. You're muted again.
She said 10.
10. Yeah, you've never seen this or have any inclination what it means. The symbol, the imagery is very foreign to you. And they look at you and say, "You shouldn't be here."
Pardon me, officers. I'm just lost.
Roll a persuasion check. No, sorry, roll a deception check.
Okay. 5.
They look at you and they're like, "I don't know what you're trying to pull here, but clearly this isn't the thing that we need." And so they both now are in there and they are hostile. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh man, I'm doing very poorly.
Oh, Clayton with the real dice.
Yeah. I got a 9.
Nice.
I have 10.
I got 5.
So far, this is feeling real good.
Initiative for me is 5 too on a D20, correct?
Yes, D20
Yeah.
plus your initiative bonus.
Yeah, I
We're
got 5.
saving the good rules for combat, you know?
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We don't,
we're doing
who
bad
gives a
shitty
crap
rolls.
about initiatives, you know? Okay, so one of the guards, the one that actually, Rowena, you were talking to, goes first. He's the one kind of in this corner. Let me get everyone kind of positioned. So he's about here. The other one's kind of over here. And Rowena, you stormed in bravely and confidently. And I'm right up next to him, kind of talking. Actually, I'll give you a couple of things before they kind of saw you. All right. Right now, it seems like they only know Rowena is there, but it is the first guard's turn, and he is going to go ahead and attack Rowena. I think using his spear.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Jump
Look
right
at
in.
me.
And he's going to try to hit you. He's going to hit you, and you take 4 points of damage, Rowena.
Oh.
Ouch.
Alright, let me calculate that. Is it my turn now?
It is actually your turn.
May I ask a question
Yes, of course.
before? So this guardsman is just a human, not like any kind of demon or anything, or?
You can't quite see it, but what Rowena saw at this point is it doesn't seem to be any magical weirdness about this person. This is a species you would recognize. It does look human.
Got it. Okay. Marina, please proceed.
I'd like to take my rapier and advance a few feet forward and attack him with that.
Okay, go for it. So go ahead and roll to hit. And you are going to be able to add your sneak attack bonus because you're a swashbuckler, and you add it to pretty much everything now.
Yes. Okay, one sec. So I got 7 on the hit.
7 misses.
Ugh.
Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Let me think about this. Can I grapple with him?
That would count as an action.
Oh, okay.
So you can't on this turn. Any of your bonus actions are still available to you if you want to try to disengage or run back to your party.
Yeah, I'd like to run back to the party.
Okay. So you use your disengage bonus action. You can go like right back to the entrance based on how far you walked in to begin with. But you do create a little bit of distance, which will now bring us to Ivo. It is your turn. Looks like these guards didn't roll very good either.
So I immediately want to attack this guy, but I'm gonna turn to Thad first. Thad, this quickly went south. And I don't think these were the same guys we saw before. Like, can I?
I don't know these fools. We're in danger. Get them.
You swing away. Swing away.
Swing
Swing
away!
away! You tell him, Shyamalan.
All right. So I want to get as close. I'm gonna come in and get as close as I can to. If I can get right there, go right up to G1 and take my Shatter Spike right. Go right at his head.
Yeah, go for it. Roll to hit.
Ooh. 18.
Nice. All right, that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll your damage now.
Damage is a different die.
I'm so excited for your real dice.
It
I
sounds
know,
good.
it's cool.
Yeah.
This is the 8, right? No, this is the 10.
The 8 looks like a double diamond. Let's explain it here. This
I
guy.
have to roll. I'm rolling the 10, which is, I think, this guy. Or is this a 9-sided die?
Hold it up.
Where's
There's
the
no
10-sided?
9-sided die. The 10-sided dice has like a 0 on it. If you hold it up to the camera, I can tell you. That's a D8. Yeah, that one's the 8. So your 10's
is
a little
really
squatter.
This has got to a real exciting moment in the journey. I think this is it because it says the 0.
Yes, that's the 10. And your
Okay.
0 counts as 10.
Good thing no one's watching this on Twitch.
I'm trying to watch, but for some reason your video's down.
This is actually the most D&D thing ever, is figuring out which dice are which. So don't feel ashamed
So
at all.
I ended up only getting a 4 for damage.
4 for damage. Alrighty, so 4 points of damage.
All that for a 4?
What you do notice, though, even with that 4, is it definitely sunk in. These are not particularly tough guards. You get the feeling these are just meant to be more patrolmen than anything. So he's still standing, but he took a pretty decent hit with that. Anything else you want to do on your turn, Ivo?
That's all.
Cool. Then we will go to the next person. And that's going to be Thad. Your turn, sir.
Great. I will also move forward to attack G1.
Okay. Thad, you might not be able to make it. Yeah, you can just make it.
Stubby little dwarf legs.
Exactly.
16.
That does, I think, hit. Yep, that just hits. So go ahead and roll your damage. What are you hitting with, too, by the way?
My Warhammer.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your damage.
3.
Really? That seems low for your Warhammer, but okay, we'll take it.
It's I rolled a 1.
Oh, there it is.
+2 on damage.
Alright, let me get into that. G1. 3 points of damage. He's starting to stumble, but still standing. So far, you guys are still trying to recoup your NIS from this prison break. Zunis, though, that brings us to your turn, sir.
I'm debating whether I should give Rowena some healing, or I should go attack, or can I do both?
I don't think have any bonus action healing spells, but let me check for you, sir.
I think I do.
All of your healing
Since
spells...
we already have...
Yeah, all of your healing spells are only actions, like full actions, so you'd have to pick and choose between what you want to do.
So when Rowena took the 4 points, I guess what's your status?
Don't worry about me, Zunis. I'm fine.
Whoa.
All right.
In it.
I guess I'm going in for G1 then.
All right. How do you want to attack G1?
I'm going to use... I'm not going to use my Divine Smite just yet. Doesn't seem quite right. So I guess I'll use my Greatsword.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll to hit. That's a D20 plus 4.
2d6 plus 2.
That's your damage roll. So
D20
first you
plus-
got to see if you hit it. So D20 plus 4 first.
Got it. Uh, 13.
That actually misses as it kind of chinks off some of the metal armor that he has, and he's able to kind of rebound with his sphere kind of back in your face. Which will, I think, bring us to the next guard now, and it does indeed. And that next guard is going to run up, just go to the now seeing the full group in there, go up to the closest target, which is Zunis, and he's going to try and hit Zunis with his spear as well. That will miss you most likely. That does miss, yes. So that'll end his turn and bring us back to the first guard, now seeing kind of the onslaught of people here. Does he have anything else he can do, or is it just that? Probably just that.
DM, what are the are those logs around that like fire?
No, it's just the torch drawing.
Okay.
It's like the symbols of the sign. He will actually miss. And hold on one second. Lily is calling for me. I'll be right back.
Fatherhood calls. I missed earlier. What's up with Emily now? What's she up to?
Looking for work, enjoying LA life, but not employed. So we're, I mean, we're
is she
doing a good
collecting
job of
unemployment?
staying indoors. It's honestly been so hard because we moved, and so not only is, of course, the unemployment system like totally inundated, but if you have your last source of income was in a different state, there are like extra hoops to jump through. So just really poor timing in that regard. But
Damn.
yeah.
Do you guys wish you had stayed in Colorado longer, or you're happy you
not
made
at
the
all.
jump?
Oh, it's so great. I mean, we were in I love Colorado, and I also do love Emily's parents, but we were staying with her parents. And
Right.
so every once in a while, we're like, it's very fortunate that we have our own space and stuff.
Yeah, we talked very briefly about going to my parents to wait this out because they have a bigger place, but I don't think that would work being a house with 2 other people.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really glad we didn't do that.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad we didn't go to Phoenix.
I'm
Man, that's what
honestly.
Ben did, right?
Yeah, he did. I'm a better cook than Anna's parents.
True.
That's fair.
Anna and I are much more competent in the kitchen than they are.
I believe
What have y'all been making?
stir fry, fried chicken, chicken tikka masala, pork chops.
Breakfast for dinner.
Fried chicken.
It's actually really easy.
Yeah.
Do you have to have a
wasn't that
big
the
pan pot?
Where you
What'd you
guys
say?
had like a salad? You had like a salad, and the fried chicken was like kind of hidden underneath the huge salad.
That was my meal, dude. Anna made biscuits that night. Oh,
Yeah.
biscuits are so easy to make.
I can't find yeast anywhere, but you don't need yeast for biscuits.
That's
Jesse, your pizza.
really awesome.
We're doing
The
meat.
pepperoni.
Yeah, the pepperoni was super good.
You're making pizza too, Clayton?
Yeah, tomorrow night Katie is gonna do homemade dough
Oh, that
during
sounds
the
good.
day, and then we'll cook it up.
Do you guys spend all days looking forward to meals? To dinner? Like, I just
Yeah.
fast all day looking forward to dinner every night.
That
was
was
looking
that was
forward to dinner before this started. Every
that was my
day.
entire life.
True, yeah. You were cooking way beforehand.
Yeah.
You were sending me food pics for ages, dude.
Food pics before food pics were on. Were
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Before they
Uh,
were all we had.
Little thirst traps, yeah. For steak.
That's right.
I was like, I'm so hungry.
Well, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and get back into it. The guard did try to hit Ivo and missed, so that will bring us now to Rowena. It is your turn.
I'd like to go up to G2 and use my rapier.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Man, I'm not doing well. 13.
That also misses. Yeah, these guys have some some pretty thick armor. It's all metal, you can tell. Actually, hold on. I'm sorry. Did you roll at advantage? Because they have enemies around them. So when you're flanking, you get to roll twice and see if either of them hit.
Oh, great. Oh, it's no better. 12.
Well, you tried your best. Ivo, that brings us back to your turn.
All right. Well, G1's annoying me, so I'm gonna just take my Shadow Spike back to him. Try to finish this guy off.
All right, go ahead and roll to hit.
Nice. 18.
That definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Ooh. 12.
Yeah, this dude just crumples. He is dead. Super dead. Real dead.
Nice, Ivo.
Well done.
Well, it confuses us because you're not a Stormwind, but it's fine.
I know, yes, but I didn't know my last name.
Oh, you plan to take my last name?
Ooh, so progressive.
How romantic.
That's normal in fish culture, though. So, Ivo, if that ends your turn, it's now Thad's turn.
Yes, I will try to move on down to G2.
All right, yeah, you can make that.
Cool.
You want to be on this side or this side? Any particular preference?
The right side, yeah.
Okay.
And I'll flank if possible, but I don't know as.
You are technically
that-
flanking now. You
Oh,
are
okay, cool.
separate.
Sweet. Oh yeah, that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna attack. I got a 18.
Oh, that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Woohoo! Let's go. Yeah, that's more like it. 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Yeah. So this dude takes a big hit from your warhammer. He's still standing, but he kind of drops to his knees a little bit as he's still kind of woozy. But not dead yet. But that was quite a hit for this guy. Zunis, this brings us to your turn now.
I would like to finish G2 off.
All right, roll to hit.
Using my greatsword again. Oh, another 9.
That misses. You are again technically flanking him though, so you roll at advantage as well. If there are players on
Alright,
opposite
I'll
ends,
roll
it counts as
for it.
flanking. So.
I rolled a 20.
Natural 20. All right, yeah. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll matter because.
So that's the 2d6 plus 2.
Mhm.
6.
6, yeah. So it's still enough. This dude just completely gets crushed by your sword and just also kind of crumples down to the ground. For the time being, it doesn't seem like anything else in this area has been alerted to your presence. I would like Thad and Rowena, though, since you're on this side of the room, to go ahead and roll perception checks for me again.
$14 for me.
Okay. And then Rowena?
Oh, one second. Seven.
7. Okay, so Thad and Rowena, you can kind of see again. You kind of see this space now that you're all in here. It definitely seems as if this whole cavern system has been man-made and just dug into the rock somehow. The rock walls are smooth. They're not particularly craggy. They've been shaped this way. And while the hallways are typically narrow, the ceilings are pretty high, which is another indicator this is probably man-made because the ceilings are pretty uniform. They're about 10 feet off the ground. And as you kind of look around, you do see that it kind of extends a little bit further and kind of goes around a corner just a little bit as it kind of extends down this way. You can't quite see around the corner, but it does seem to kind of go a little bit further into that space.
Before we go down to that way, my fellow brethren, have you ever seen anything like this symbol on their pelts, on their badge?
I'll have everyone roll a history check.
21 for me.
Natural 20. So let's
Nice.
see if I add anything.
Very religious.
Yeah,
of a-
20.
Nice.
5.
I guess the religious people know.
So yeah, I'll give you a little bit. You really don't understand its origin a ton. What you what you can kind of garner from it is that it's not any symbol that necessarily seems religious, so to speak. Otherwise, you have a pretty good sense. You probably would have at least heard about it given your backgrounds. What you are guessing, based off of that kind of lack of knowledge, is that this must be some kind of clandestine secret organization. Um, and you're not really sure what the imagery symbolizes. This wouldn't be something you would have heard about anywhere in your existence, but just feeling very confident in your understanding of religious organizations, you have a suspicion. One, this has nothing to do with the noble hand that you know of, which is odd for both of your positions. So you think this isn't a noble hand thing, and two, that this is likely not a religious organization, but must be some kind of secret organization.
Interesting.
Secret society.
Guys, we never discussed why someone might want to frame you for Watterson's murder.
Good point. Probably someone else committed said murder, and
Well, I would hope so.
is using us as the fall guy. Probably that guy we encountered at first.
Oh yeah, he had it in for you.
And
Which
why
guy?
would they be so interested in the world spikes also?
That's a good point. I wonder if we'll encounter him back here.
Thad and Zunis, is there anything in your training that suggests why someone would have it in for you or would want the world spike?
Well, I will be honest. I haven't always been in agreement with the Church of Helm. So perhaps I'm just the easiest target for somebody to blame this on. Also, as you all are aware, I have enjoyed imbibing of the temple's stores of excellent mead and wine. And so perhaps I'm just a patsy. What can I say?
As for me, I sort of dwelled at the temple as a place of more shelter than worship at first, after I came to land, and have found that as I lived there, I grew accustomed to their ways. But at first, I was merely just like a church would take in a vagrant and try to help them turn their lives around. That was me, and they really did help me, and that's why I was so, trying to accommodate them as much as I could when we first met them. But I don't like what's become of the church since we've gotten back.
Can we search while this conversation is progressing, just search the bodies as well?
Of course. Roll an investigation check, Thad.
Yeah, I kind of wish we didn't kill the second guard.
11.
You find a couple of gold pieces, not a ton. You do see that some of the symbols are actually like not just like engraved on their armor, but there actually is like a little necklace that this one wears. Doesn't seem to be on the other one, but this one does have a necklace that you can kind of pull off, and it would have that symbol with you if you wanted to keep it. And then he's got a spear and his armor.
I'll
and
grab
stuff,
that.
if you wanted to take that.
I'll take the little pendant.
I will add a thing of that to your inventory here, Thad.
Cool.
Equipment. Anything else that you want to take from him? I'll add the currency as well for you. So,
That's it.
Did you take from G1 and 2?
he didn't take gold from G1, just G2. Does someone else want to check see if G1 had anything on him?
Yes, and I'd like to share with my colleagues.
Roll an investigation check for me.
All right. 13.
You also find two pieces of gold on this particular one. Not a ton. Get the feeling they're not like wealthy or anything.
I'll Venmo you guys.
Shall we progress down this hallway? I don't see any other way to get out.
Let's do it.
And then how are you progressing? Are we going to be, are we going to be like running? Are we going to be trying to get fast? Are we going to try to be sneaky? What's your game plan here?
Let's be sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need everyone to roll stealth checks for me.
The worst.
1.
Hey, not the worst. 4.
I got 23.
Yeah.
How much did you get, Ivo?
16.
16. Okay, at least half of you succeeded, so it worked out. That natural one, we'll see if it does anything. I don't know yet.
We recognize the symbol.
So you're starting to walk out. As you guys are getting there, you do notice that there is a now the pathway kind of starts to narrow in a bit, and as you look through, it does kind of go around a corner a little. As you kind of are peeking around the corner, Rowena, since you had the best one, you can just kind of peek your head out, peek back. It does extend. I would like you when you're there to roll a perception check for me.
Okay. Natural 20 plus 4, 24.
Yeah, it's super. So you
Nice.
can see the hallway is actually really expansive. And I'm gonna move your character just so you can kind of see a little bit down that way. Because I don't have a separate light source there that I can add to. I know I don't. So let's just do this real quick. You can see all the way down that hallway basically, and I'm just moving you temporarily here. And it does kind of extend all the way down here. Down in this area, you actually see another guardsman. Although this guardsman it doesn't look like a guard. He's not wearing the same kind of armor. He's got the same symbol and imagery. He's not carrying a spear. He's got like daggers at his sides. This seems to be not the same type of patrolman, so to speak. At its side is what can only be considered a metal dog. And it kind of seems like they're patrolling this space, kind of walking there. As you investigate the walls as well, you see down this long hallway that it's lit by a couple of torches. And the torches kind of, again, light up most of it. You can see pretty well. And what you notice that's strange is that you're looking at the walls, again, these man-made walls that you've seen all around. In between the two torches, kind of midway up the wall, is about a 1-inch thick groove that runs the length of the hallway on each side. So if you think of it like, the cross section of the hallway is like a box, like this is what you like the kind of the cross cut. The groove kind of seems to split the hallway horizontally in half.
Guys, check out this groove.
Oh.
Huh.
Interesting.
What do you suppose this place was used for?
Yeah, I've been wondering what the purpose of this might be, especially if Thad had no knowledge of it prior, and he was had a lot of knowledge and interaction with the church and all, and even Zunis to an extent. But if they had no knowledge of this, then I guess what is really the purpose of having a hidden passageway into a dungeon? Are they trying to smuggle? Obviously, I feel like the church and higher ups had to have known about it. It's very well constructed, so I feel like it wasn't a secret. So someone knew about it. So there must be something else that they're using it for.
To be fair, it's a little odd that a church had a jail in its basement before this level. There's something off.
Well, just a quick pause on that, so it's cleared up. So
Sure.
remember, while it is a temple, it's not quite a church. And the
Okay.
God Helm,
Place of worship.
yeah, and the God Helm, his whole thing is protection. So like worshippers of Helm basically become guardsmen, they become law enforcement. It's very tied into that concept of protection and enforcement. So it's very normal for that place to have a jail, but this place underneath the jail, to Ivo's point, is very strange.
Got it. Okay. That's
I wonder, given what Thad said, if this is some sort of malevolent cult and this is their space, since it looks like it's man-made, and they're probably up to something no good down here.
I certainly
agree.
think they're up to something is afoot, something foul. And I do believe that, the Supreme Watcher probably has a hand in this. People called me crazy for questioning his motives as I served, but it's apparent to me that something is very amiss.
I agree with that. Should we take out our weapons and go down this hall? Because I don't see any other way out.
It's a great idea.
Let's do it.
You should all be prepared.
So now you guys are kind of rounding this corner. I'll say your stealth checks from before are still applied here. And as you walk through, you notice the groove, now that you've all seen it, it basically, like, the groove on the wall is about where, like, your waist and torso would be on most of you. It's about 3.5, 4 feet up a smidgen. It kind of cuts almost right down the center of it. So you're kind of walking through. For the most part, the guard at the far end isn't seeing you. You do notice that there is a kind of like little corner again that it turns, like a T-junction, and then it seems to go into a bigger room all the way at the end of the hall. You feel like you might be able to get into the T-junction without calling attention to the guard. There's no way to continue going straight without getting the attention of the guard, but it would be, at this point, it would be tough either way to not get attention to yourself.
Should we hook a left and avoid the guard?
There's four of us.
I was also thinking, if we're feeling aggressive, some of you guys could pin down the guard and try and get some answers out of him. But I don't know if we're all murdered out for today.
I don't think we need to murder him. I'm actually very open to learning more from this guard.
I guess that's the question. Are we just trying to get out of here, or do you guys feel motivated to explore the mystery of what this is, this hidden area within a dungeon of the temple?
It pains me to say it because I want to get out of here and get off this island and go onto our next mission. But I think we have to ultimately clear your name, Thad and Zunis, or somehow or other come to a conclusion here. So I suppose we do have to uncover the mystery.
I agree. And this seems like our best shot at uncovering whatever is going on here.
Okay. I say then we hook a left, and this way we'll explore if that goes into a room or another part of this area, and then we could always backtrack and head towards where the guard is.
So the guard is
That
starting to
makes
kind
sense.
of move in a little bit closer. He hasn't seen you yet. I need you guys
get some answers.
Yeah, I need you guys to roll a stealth check again.
Mm-mm. Oh, God. 4 again.
Ooh, 9.
7.
8.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
not very stealthy.
Not very stealthy. So as you see it, you guys are trying to hook a left. As you're trying to get into this space here, you all just kind of like stumble into each other, and notice that you make a noise, and the guard looks up with this dog, and he sees you. The guard, you notice, is right here by this torch. So the first thing he does as he sees you guys and sees intruders in this hallway, he looks to the torch, grabs it, and just cranks it to the right. I need everyone in the hallway to roll a dexterity saving throw.
DM, is he by that first torch there to the right of us?
Yes. Here, I'll mark it because he'll show up on the map here in a second. Him and the metal dog creature are there.
I got 25.
Okay.
I got 19 with my -1.
Okay.
Ooh. I got 10.
Okay. Anybody else less than 12?
I got a Ugh. I got a 2.
2. Okay. What's the wrong one? Where's my D10?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Why is he
so-
looking for a D10?
So as you guys are walking there and you kind of notice that this guard is kind of sent onto you and you see him move this, you're like, that's a strange thing for a guard to do first. The first thing you notice is an alarm seems to have gone off. There is a loud, just piercing, just like loud tone just going off. But you don't have time to really take that in, because as soon as you notice the noise, you now see this giant piece of sharp metal flying at you, basically spanning the hallway. And that's what the grooves were essentially holding. You see this giant blade just come through right through the middle of the hallway.
I knew.
For Rowena and Zunis, you notice it fast enough and you're able to kind of go prone real quick on the floor. But Ivo and Thad don't catch it, and you guys actually take 10 points of piercing damage as this thing just like pushes you and like it cuts into you and forces you to the ground. You're all prone on the ground currently. Couple of you have taken some pretty heavy damage. What you notice as it does get past you, it gets to where the other torch is. It stops, retracts into the wall. You kind of see like, and then you're here, almost like it's like starting to recharge a bit. I need everyone to roll initiative for me.
Ooh.
3.
2.
4.
12.
Oh boy.
Rowena, one more time.
4.
Okay. Rowena. 4, and then Ivo,
12.
and then Thad,
2.
and then Zunis.
4. No, 3. I'm sorry. With my -1.
Alrighty. Start. Get you guys out of there. Alright, so. Alright, so. Come here, you. Let me just get these guys lined up. Okay, so the guard is right by that one, and he has sent the dog out that way. Start. So first person up is actually going to be the... Well, he went, we'll say that. Is going to be Ivo.
Shit. All right, guys. This is this isn't good. The blade and coming down the middle of the hallway thing definitely hurt both myself and I think or one of us. Like, and these guys are angry to come at us. Do you? I vote we get out of this hallway. We book it around that corner and see if we can have a better chance if we have to fight over there. Because I feel like this metal blade is going to come back at us. What do you guys think?
Very perceptive. I like that a
I
lot.
agree.
Yeah. Way to think ahead.
I'll follow.
Okay, so I want to try to race by everyone since I'm going first, but essentially make it around the corner to get out of the hallway.
You can get right here.
Ooh.
Cool.
No, wait, actually, I think you can actually go. Do you want to just go as far as you can, or just like walk into the room first?
I want to go as far as I can. Yeah, I mean, when I get to that point, do I notice, are there any other enemies once I
There are.
get
So
out
there
of
are
the hallway
3
into the
more
room?
people in this room.
Okay, well, I want to go. That's fine. Or is that as far as I can go?
No, you can actually go a little bit further. You can go. So that was 25 feet, 5, 10. You can go here, or you can get to like here.
Let me do against the wall there. One diagonal back.
This way?
Yeah, let me do that. So I'm out of the way, and I'm kind of in the corner. Yeah.
Let me just add these other characters then. right, so as you go in there, you notice that you have kind of stumbled into a communal gathering area. There's food on the table. It's well lit. When they heard the alarm, they kind of got surprised and are initiated now, and they seem to have been hostile, but they didn't realize where it was coming from. Now they definitely know. You see three of them, two kind of up, two on the bench kind of close to you and one up above. Two match kind of the decor of the person you saw pull the torch, kind of these bronze-colored, darker kind of shaded robes with a mask on, and the same symbol that you saw earlier. One seems to be a little bit nicer. His robes aren't bronze; they're actually white, but still has the same symbol. They're all armed.
Okay.
Would you like to do anything else with your turn?
I can attack still, right?
Of course. Yep. You just use your movement, so your action is just your
Could
movement.
Yeah. Can I take my crossbow to? Is it G3 the closest one to me?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I want to take my crossbow and shoot an arrow his way.
Okay. Roll ahead and roll to hit.
18.
That definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, I need to do the 8 now. There we go. 6.
Cool. So first one, that crossbow hits him a little stunned as he kind of gets up and it hooks him like really hard in the chest. Just missed his heart. He's still standing, but that was quite a big hit for him.
Nice. Yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. That will bring us then to one of their turns, actually. You said that was C3. That'll bring us now to C2. So the other one does get up and kind of seeing this, just charges at you. And will make it, and he will just try to hit you with his scimitar that he kind of had at his waist. So he pulls it out and tries to hit you with it. That's 13 plus 4, 17. Will that hit you? I'm pretty sure yes. What's your armor class?
The armor class, right?
Mm-hmm.
16.
Yeah, that hits you. You
armor
take
class.
4 points of damage from this sword.
Got it.
That'll end that turn. Rowena, that gets us to your turn.
I'd like to walk up behind Ivo and take my short bow.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you want to go in
Alright.
further to the room, or do you want to be there?
I'll go in further.
Give me a kind of a stopping point. You
There,
can make it.
that's good.
Yeah, you can make it right about here, I think.
Okay. Alright. And I got 21 for hit.
That hits. Who are you trying to hit?
G2, or whatever the one is closest to Ivo.
That's C2. If you're trying to hit him, you probably want to be back a little bit, because if you're trying to hit him with your bow, you're going to take a penalty.
Okay.
Unless you want to hit him with your rapier, you'd probably do more damage anyway because of sneak attack.
Yeah, I didn't realize at first I could end up so close, so yes, I would like to do my rapier.
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead and roll your damage, and remember to add your sneak attack.
Alright. 16.
Yeah, solid. So this, as you kind of like lunge it in, this dude just crumples to the ground. You're able to kind of get past his leathers that he had on, and you just see him kind of fall to the ground dead. Anything else on your turn, Rowena?
No, Ivo, are you okay?
I'm good. Thank you for the help.
That will bring us to the cultist that Ivo attacked. Seeing the new companion, he'll just charge straight up as far as he can go. And he will also try to take a swing with his scimitar at Rowena. That's definitely going to hit. Rowena, you're going to take 4 points of damage as well.
Today is not my day.
What are you at?
In his turn. Zunis. That brings us to your turn, sir.
I'm gonna join the action, and I don't want to kill this guy, but I would like to help aid in the battle, to disarming him and maybe getting some information.
You can make it, so there's about 15. You can make it like here? No, that's a little far. You can probably make it about here.
And
All right.
did you say there's a third?
Oh, you know what?
Yes, there is a third person.
May I use my...
Oh, let me...
Oh, there is?
Yeah, he's not added. Sorry, I forgot to roll for him. Roll.
I was going to use my Nature's Wrath, but it might not be wise if there's another guy.
You get the sense that like the one that they're surrounding right now is the underling. Someone maybe a little bit higher up on the chain pool would probably be A1 over there, based on his attire. You could see pretty well. He's in like nicer looking vestments. Still has the same symbol and imagery. This one does not have a mask.
All right, well, I think I would like to just do an unarmed strike to maybe kind of disarm him.
Okay. You don't have the ability to just straight out disarm him, but if you want to try to maybe like, are you trying to stop him from attacking you?
Stop from attack and then kind of put him in a position where we can start questioning and interrogating him.
We'll try like a grapple. Which one are you going for though? Because there's two in the room and you still have the other guards below.
Yeah, you
Well,
know
I think
what?
you should do.
I think I should
Zunus, you should
do.
do it for A1.
What were you saying, Clayton?
Zunus, you should do A1 if we want to interrogate someone, not C3.
Yeah, I think I might do my Nature's Wrath and scare A1, so he knows our capabilities.
Your Nature's Wrath wouldn't scare him. The Nature's Wrath that you have would like entangle him, so it wraps him up.
Right, but it would scare A1 possibly to see that I have these abilities. No.
I don't know if it would like frighten him. It's not quite in that spell ability, but it would like maybe restrain him. You're just not close enough to do it. I think you have to be within 10 feet.
All right. In that case, great sword.
Yeah. Roll to hit.
All right. 9. A lot for nothing.
That
Sorry,
actually
folks.
misses.
Yes, I know.
Thad, that'll bring us to your turn.
I will move on down to. Oh, I'm gonna move forward, like, yeah,
This is as
back
far as you
5
can go.
feet. Can I go back 5 feet ish?
You want to be like
And
here?
another one. Basically, I want to move, attack, and move if that's possible.
What are you trying to attack?
Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. I want to attack the folks down at the end of the hallway
Gotcha.
with guiding bolt, which has a range of 120 feet. I think that could hit them, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think if you just want to do that, you don't even have to move if you don't want to. But you can hit him
sweet.
from here.
Yeah, I will not do that. And then my plan is to move afterwards, after blasting off
Sure.
some attacks.
Okay, so go ahead and cast Guiding Bolt. I think is Guiding Bolt save for me?
It says, let me check. Flash of light streaks.
No, just a spell attack for you. So D20 plus 5.
Cool. Come on, baby. Yes. 22.
22. That definitely hits.
Cool.
Are you trying to go for the metal dog creature or the cultist at the torch?
I think I'm gonna go for the metal dog creature.
Okay. So that does hit it. Roll 4d6 to see if that does damage. Are you doing first level, second level?
Second level.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll your damage.
Or actually, with first level, how many do I roll?
First level 4d6, second level 5d6.
Oh. Yeah, I'll do first level.
Okay.
8 plus 6 is 14 plus 4, 18.
Okay, 18 points of damage to this metal dog type creature. 18 you said? Am I crazy?
That is correct.
Okay, perfect. Nice. Big hit on this thing, and you see this bolt of energy just kind of and like it almost kind of makes him rear up in pain from this. Although it's strange to see a metal creature in pain, but does quite a bit of damage to this thing. Although it is still standing.
Cool. And then I'll move and follow the crew to try and get out of the way of the blade.
Okay. So do you want to go as far in the room as you can?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can make it. Let's just go that to 10. You can make it about here.
Sweet.
Come.
Perfect.
Which will then bring us to the other character in the room currently. Thanks, sweetie. And he's going to cast Sacred Flame on Zunis because he's the closest. And then Zunis, I need you to roll a Dexterity saving throw.
Yes, sir. Ooh, 19.
Nice.
Nice.
Should I say that again?
Oh, yeah.
19.
You're Nate.
No, that was me. I muted. So you kind of feel this warmth kind of start to hit you, and it just seems to dissipate. So whatever the Acolyte was trying to do didn't seem to take effect. And that will end his turn. Yeah, I think he's going to actually end it there. Which will then bring us back to the very first cultist. Let's see. I don't think he's got the range. He does not. So he is actually going to stay right there. The dog, though, I think that's his next up. Yep, the dog is going to charge in as far as he can go. What's his range? That's as far as he can go right now, and that will end his turn. That's going to be Ivo's turn.
All right, I'm gonna finish off deal with the dog when it comes down to it. But I want to finish off C3 with my Shadow Spike.
Go ahead and roll to hit.
$20.
Natural 20?
No.
Okay, roll your damage then.
I will. Damage is. Oh, come on. Nice. 10. 10 damage. So
This
he's
dude just
gone.
gets obliterated. He is dead. Just a
Nice.
mess of guts and goo. Which will then bring us to Rowena. I believe it's your turn now.
Okay. Let me look at this map. I'd like to go start intimidating A1.
What do you want to do
And
specifically?
Brian, I'd like to go up to him and as close as I can get and use my rapier to injure but not kill.
Let's see what happens. Roll to hit.
Okay.
And then I want you to roll an intimidation check too at the same time.
Alright, hit, I got 21.
Okay.
Can I use my sneak attack bonus on that too?
Yep.
So, plus 15 on the damage.
Okay. So that's more than
And
enough
then,
to kill him.
oh,
But,
and then intimidation 19.
okay, yeah. With that, I'll give you advantage since he way overblew his damage level. He is now at the tip of your spear, bloodied, tip of your rapier, bloodied, and like trying to stay tight-lipped, but you can tell he's a little bit on edge. You are still in combat though, so I'm gonna go to. Is there anything you want to say right now though? We'll just see how that
Who
goes.
do you work for?
So we'll pause there, and then we'll go to the next
Look for
person.
number 2.
Zunis, that brings it to your turn.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna follow her lead and
You do still have
Um,
2 enemy combatants that you know about.
Yeah. I guess go back. I can't really see. Is it A1? Yeah, there we go. I guess I'll go over to A1 with Rowena and maybe try and attack as well and potentially get some information.
He's pretty much dead. Rowena.
All right. Well, I guess
One
now's
shot
the
did,
time.
basically.
Like, yeah, now's the time to figure out who he works for. Like she said.
So that'll bring us then. Thad, it is your turn. You've got the dog kind of chasing you behind you, and the original cultist who set off the trap and the alarm at the front.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try and hold the rear, so that everybody else can deal with the subduing of that.
Do you want to kind of like
Cultist.
block the hallway then?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll actually move. Yeah, if I could go right there, and maybe I'll cast something at him. I'm going to cast Burning Hands.
You trying to hit the dog in that?
Yes. And that's, I think,
Mhm.
a dex save of 13.
Yes, for me. 10. Does he have any bonus to his dex? Let's check. Well, he fails.
Woohoo! 8. And that'll be 10 points of damage.
All right. Quite damaged, and almost like you see like parts of his metal body kind of sloughing off from the heat, kind of starting to melt in places. He looks a little softer. He's still alive though.
Thing's tough.
Yeah, which will bring us now to the acolyte, who is there, kind of at the tip of his spear. And as you're kind of demanding that you tell him what he works for, he shouts out, "Run!" And then he kind of just stares defiantly at you. And he says, in answer to your question, "You don't even know what makes this world. Nothing I told you would even matter."
Come on, guy.
But it's not my turn to run.
Come on, guy.
That'll bring us to the first cultist. I'm going to say you don't quite know what he's doing, but he seems to be staying there. And then the dog comes up. He's going to just charge at you. And he'll try to bite you, Thad. 15, that's probably going to hit. What's his bite plus? Yeah, that hits. So you take 6 points of damage as his metal jaws close in on you. I need you to also roll a strength saving throw for me.
Got it. 18.
So you feel him try to bite a little bit harder and kind of hold you in place, but you're able to kind of wrest your leg out from his mouth. Just take the original damage that you did take.
Awesome.
Ivo, that brings us to your turn.
I'm gonna help my boy Thad out and take care of this dog business. So I want to move up next to Thad, so I'm in range to use my Shadow Spike and try to send this pup to the pound, so to speak.
Nailed it. Roll to hit.
Ooh, natural 20.
Nice.
Nice.
We're just gonna say you destroy this dog. He's got 2 hit points left. So yeah, the dog just crumples in a pile of metal,
Animal abuse.
and it's a very strange death. Like, it's not organic. The dog just takes the hit, kind of breaks, and you see like the metal creaking apart, and it just kind of like head down on the ground, but is still standing on its legs, but it's no longer functioning.
Huh.
Which will
And
then Ivo,
that's all I
anything else
got.
on your turn that you want to do?
No.
That'll bring us now to Rowena. It is your turn.
Tell us what we want to know, where I'm going to kill you. You're close to death anyway. It doesn't matter. I don't know if you can respond. 'Cause we're still in
He can.
combat.
I'm just gonna finish my food. So he kind of looks at that, and he says, "What is it that you want to know?"
What is this cult? I have some people here who are very embroiled in the Temple of Helm, and they say they've never heard of you or this symbol.
They wouldn't hear of us. We operate in a space that not very many people know of anyway.
And what's your goal? What are you trying to get out of operating?
We're not trying to get anything out of this. We're trying to make sure the world doesn't crumple.
Are you talking about the god spikes?
Kind of stares at you as you mention that. And he says, "The world spikes aren't for random people to just come across and see. If you're with this group of idiots who took them from where they belonged, then you absolutely know nothing of what you're doing."
We didn't take them. We're trying to return them. But we were framed for murder when trying to return them.
My guess is you probably did it then.
But why are you taking the side of Helm? They're the mainstream religion. You're the offsuit.
This isn't about sides. Helm isn't real. None of this is real. You think that they saved us? You think the gods care?
Yes, I do. I'm not a very religious person. But if good people like Thad and Zunis believe in these gods, I believe there's something good to them. And Helm has saved us several times on this adventure.
Then you truly are lost. No god saved us. We saved ourselves. And he just shoves his neck into the rest of your spear and kills himself.
Oh, come on.
Damn.
Wow.
Well,
So
let's
there's
find
no
out
one
who he was
down here with us now.
on.
Yeah.
Never heard of a cult that tried to convince you you didn't need their deity.
Yeah.
Gotta mix
Are
it
we
up.
still
you know.
in?
You're still
in
technically in
combat?
combat. There is a cultist out there. He refuses to move.
Well, I guess if it's is it still Lady Rowena's turn or my turn?
I'll say it's still Lady Rowena's turn.
Soon as we have to run, we have to get that cultist and get out of here. Obviously, we won't get anything out of this place.
Do you want to search this gentleman?
Oh yeah, let's search. I'd like to search. Good idea, Zoom.
Should we need a roll, Nate?
Let's do this. We're gonna just temporarily pause if you guys want to search, because the cultist, you get the sense, isn't gonna come follow you. That he would have by now if he was going to. So you can kind of search this area if you'd like to a little bit more.
Oh, and also these people's pockets.
Roll a investigation check.
18.
So I'll
And
just give-
I got 18 as well.
Perfect. I'll give you guys a kind of group find. So collectively on all of them, you find about 10 gold pieces. You can split them amongst yourselves however you want to. You again find some more of the imagery and symbols. Nothing really of value. They have their scimitars and weapons on there, but some gold on them. On the acolyte, he also has. Let's see if I can find it here. It always takes me forever to find that. Sorry. Let me get it open. Treasure, treasure, treasure. He also has a blue quartz on his persons, which is worth about 10 gold pieces in itself on the acolyte.
You want to grab that, Zunis?
Yeah, I'll take it.
I want to actually investigate this dead dog, this metal dog.
Sure.
Just to see if it's if it is indeed like a actual dog with just like metal armor on it, or if some sort of more machine or something a little bit mechanical being.
Roll an investigation check for me. Yes, babe.
5.
So you can definitely tell that it's not a real dog. It seems to be some kind of contraption. How it's made, exactly why, you have no, or how, like, how it functions, you have no clue.
Okay, but
you can
it's
definitely
machine.
tell.
It's not a real dog.
Correct. Yeah. There's not a dog in there.
Okay.
DM, I have a question. Does A1 also have that badge with the symbol on it?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to take it off of him and keep it just in case.
Okay. I'll add it into your inventory. I'll put the Who grabbed the little gemstone too?
Zunis did.
Zunis grabbed that.
I did. Yeah, I should probably update my inventory.
I'll handle that if you guys can just sort out the money you've been getting so far. So along these ones, you've got 10. So however you guys want to split that up. I don't know. Again, some players like to do like a banker system where they just, like, one person collects it all and then you divvy it out later, or you divvy it up now. It's kind of up to you how you want to do it.
I'll take just 2. Keep things simple.
Okay. So I'll add 2 gold pieces to Zunis. And a new gemstone.
I'll take 2 as well.
So that leaves
3 and
6.
3.
Yep.
Yep.
Guys, can you just update your inventories for me while I do theirs?
Yep.
And then quartz, blue quartz. And Rowena wanted to get the symbol. He didn't mention the name of the cult yet, has he? No, he did not.
Did not.
No.
As I heard.
All right, I've added.
Alright, so you have an unidentified symbol in your inventory now, Lady Rowena.
Thank you, DM.
Alright, so you're kind of in this spot. You don't see anything else seemingly coming to get you. As you investigate this space, you can definitely tell that it was meant more as like a gathering area. Rowena, since you're kind of in that top corner too, go ahead and just roll a quick perception check for me.
Okay.
And I would actually like... Let's have everyone roll a perception check. You're pretty close to that space, you would see it.
I got 23.
Okay.
Got an 18.
16.
10.
10, okay. So anyone that rolled like more than 12, a couple things that you notice. One, this does seem to lead into a bigger chamber, and you see the stone, like the rock that was kind of cut to carve out this cave system, seems to stop at what looks to be like an interior shrine or room. It's actually made of stone and mortar. It's not like the rock that was carved from. This space was made specifically as a chamber. And you all hear now that you're close enough to it, the sounds of rushing water, now that you're out of combat and not so focused on like getting killed by a giant swinging axe thing. You can hear the sound of rushing water, and you can hear orders being given. You have the sense the Acolyte's warning kind of triggered off people just going wherever they needed to go. In that bigger room, you do see motion, and you see 2 figures talking. One seems to be running. Then Rowena, for what you rolled as well, you notice above, kind of like above that, and that wall in the top left corner of your screen, there seems to be like a vent up there that you can maybe crawl through. It's pretty tight. Probably one of you, maybe the smallest one of you, can get in there. You would imagine Thad and Zunis and I would probably have a hard time. Maybe Ivo could make it, but it's a small little space.
Where is that grid? Or that grate?
It's not really a grate. It's actually just almost looked like a vent hole was cut into the top. You assume it has something to do, especially you as a dwarf would know. Like this is probably how they got airflow to different areas of the cave. It is here-ish.
Cool.
Guys, check out that air vent in case I have to do any reconnaissance through there. But for now, I'm not going to leave you guys behind.
Great.
Shall we go kill this last enemy?
Yeah. Or at least see if we can get some information.
So you guys
Yeah, I may as well take him out and then deal with the folks in the next room. Or maybe a couple of us should go into the next room and start engaging those people. 2 people run back and dispatch that last guy and then come join us.
It's not a bad idea.
So which way are you guys trying to go?
Do we really want? Is there really a need to go back and dispatch that last guy?
Probably not. He'll come find us if he needs to. Let's just move forward.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah, good call.
Fleeing is always a strategy. Don't feel bad. So you've got a couple of ways that you can go. You can kind of go into this. Here, I'll draw some arrows. It's always helpful, I think. You can kind of keep going into this main room here and like try to like the people that were meeting here. You got the sense they were talking before you guys kind of interrupted and the alarms went off. There's hustle and bustle as things are trying to move around. Or you can try and investigate a little bit more of this event that you're seeing up in that area.
I'll investigate the vent.
So you kind of push the bench kind of up to the wall so you can kind of reach it and you kind of pop through. You can see it goes into a chamber and you see a light at the end of it. Roll another perception check for me.
Okay. 11.
11. So you can see in there decently enough. It's not very long. There seems to be a little bit of a tunnel. And you kind of kick yourself as you realize it actually is a tunnel that connects you to the first room because you see the dead guards in there.
Guys, we could have just come in this way.
Well, that certainly would have been a...
Knowing that the area loops back, you decide that you're going to kind of sit tight where you are.
Cool.
Guys, we should just always examine every wall.
You actually did. Your perception rolls are crap.
True.
Just no matter what, we go into a new room, everyone just touch a corner of the wall and just start poking stuff.
So who's going into this other chamber then? Or do you want to try to go loop back?
Let's go forward.
Let's
I'll move into it.
So you walk into
Press
this
on
room,
to the other chamber.
and you guys see one of the strangest things you maybe have ever seen in your existence. So first, on the opposite end of the room, kind of let me spell out a little bit of what you're seeing here. So again, this whole area is stone and mortar. It's not like cave rock and dirt. It's tiled floors with stone. It's like stone sconces kind of carved and mortared up on the walls. It's very well lit in here. There's a bit of a stone bridge, and underneath the bridge in this main area is a pretty wide canal with fast-moving water in it. And there are grates on either end of the canal that you can kind of see, and the water flows through them, but big objects can't seem to go through. You can't really tell 100% if there's a grate on your closest side because you can't quite see it over the angle, but you assume that because you hear a loud metal clang as you go through, and you swear you saw shapes in the water. It's just a moment before pulling something down. You also kind of stumbled into this meeting as you see a couple more cultists who have now kind of fled down, you assume. You weren't sure if those were the people that were taking whatever was in there or not. They had ropes that they had like lowered into the pool. And now that they've let that go, they just run off. The most concerning thing that you see is that Supreme Watcher Tion is there, in his full regalia, as he would normally be dressed as Supreme Watcher Tion, talking to a person that you don't recognize, a female woman. And as she's kind of noticing all of the commotion and things running around, you see her form shape into this almost disgusting looking fish creature. Her mouth kind of like doesn't open just up and down. It's got like these flaps that open wide. She's got tentacles that kind of like come off of her back. And as she kind of sees you, she lets out a hiss and just dives strangely kind of gracefully into the water and disappears underneath its surface. And you hear the metal kind of open and slam shut again. Just to give you a quick image of what you saw this person look like.
Hmm.
See if I can find it for you. See if it'll let me drag it that way. Oop. Nope. You. Being annoying.
This fish woman a friend of yours, Zunis?
Well, she's not exactly a fish woman. I don't think she's my people. I think
This
she's a
is what you
shapeshifter.
see. As she like changed shapes from a female form to this, and then dove into.
That's one look.
Yeah, she
Wow.
seemed dangerous and gross and scary. But
Zunis has a beautiful soul.
but as you kind of recover from this sight, Supreme Watcher Tion is standing there, and he seems annoyed, but not necessarily perturbed. A little more bothered. And as he turns around, you notice that around his neck is the same symbol that you guys have been kind of collecting along the way.
I knew it.
And he stares at you and he says, "Very well then. I guess this was likely to be the outcome in either case. But in whatever may happen after this, just know I did it. I did it to protect all of us." And he kind of like slams what you, Zunis and Thad, recognize to be kind of the symbol of Helm, which is this tall staff with like this huge double-headed warhammer on the top of it, and the eyes of Helm are kind of inset into the faces of the warhammer. He kind of slams it on the ground and he kind of mutters something. And you didn't catch it before because it really blended into the stone, but along the far wall, two panels of the stone seem to like pop out. And it actually kind of starts to chafe, and you feel this rumble on the ground as this huge stone creature with these giant stone panels for shields on each of his hands starts to kind of rear up and kind of mechanically and I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, baby. Well, I just dropped my dice, but I'll take that 17.
2. No, sorry, 3.
Hold those numbers for me. I'm just going to get the other creatures in here. Okay, 17 was for Thad. I heard that one. And then I need Ivo. What did you get again?
3.
3. Not good initiatives today, huh? Rowena.
22.
22. All right, a little better.
I had some bad rolls.
And then
I said-
Zunis, what'd you get?
1.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
So as you kind of
It
notice,
happens. No hard feelings.
these creatures there, you are across the way from where the Supreme Watcher is, who is in the center of the bridge, basically, as he was meeting that creature of the sea. Actually, Zunis, you might recognize what that was because of your background. Can you roll a nature check for me?
Yeah. $14.
14. So yeah, you would remember this based on the background. This is what's called the Deep Scion, and they're not good. They're definitely evil. They are typically the underlings of bigger, almost like godlike creatures of the sea, like Kraken or something. And why they're kind of unique, they were turned into this creature. They were former humans or overland races that somehow got lost at sea. They were either stolen from the shore or they were like in a shipwreck and kind of pulled down. And these like almost deity creatures took them, did some crazy rituals, and converted them to this because they can shapeshift back into their original form and spy on the overworld as kind of belongers there. So this woman was clearly meant to spy on the overland and seemed to have a alliance somehow with Supreme Watcher Tion. But with that, Lady Rena, it is your turn. You see the stone defender kind of pop up and get out. The while its body is pretty regular size, it's still pretty big, about 7 feet, 8 feet or so. The stone slabs that it have stretch from above its head to below its head.
I'd like to. How close can I get to? What's his name? Chianti.
Tion, you could probably get to. Yeah, that would be there. That would get you right next to him.
Okay, I'd like to do kind of what I did with the acolyte and attack him with my rapier and also intimidate him.
Okay, roll with yeah, go ahead and roll to hit, and then if you hit,
Okay.
roll an intimidation check.
Okay, for hit I got 16.
That does hit. Go ahead and roll your
Alright.
damage for me as well.
Okay. 12.
So he doesn't seem frightened at all. Not in the least. But you do 12 points of damage. So he took a pretty good hit on that one. As he kind of like faces back to you. Anything else on your
That
turn?
was on who?
That was on Supreme Watcher Tion.
Oh, cool.
Right, that was a 12, not for intimidation. That was for damage, right?
That was for damage.
Yeah. That's gonna bring us now to Thad. It is your turn.
Awesome. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and cast some guiding bolts.
Right. Who you casting it on?
I'm gonna cast. Can I split that between multiple targets?
I don't believe so. Guiding bolt goes to 1.
Oh yeah, it says toward a creature. Cool. I'm gonna send him over at the golem or whatever, the stone thing.
Sure. So go ahead and do your ranged spell attack roll. So d20 plus 5 for you, I think, on that one. 4. Sorry. If second level or first level on that again?
Second level.
So that's plus 5 on that.
Cool. 15.
That misses actually.
Shit.
So it does hit it, but it's a glancing blow. He's able to kind of take one of those big shields and just boom, knock it out.
Ugh.
Anything else on your turn?
I will move up, just like straight up towards that.
Okay. You just want to walk like forward? Like here?
Yep, that was great.
Awesome.
And I don't know if
yeah,
and then maybe I'll get my crossbow out, but
okay. Yeah, because with that Warhammer, you can only use the crossbow or the Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll actually bring us then to the Stone Defender. And his main job, you get the sense, is to protect Tion because he charges as much as he can straight to him. And he will actually get right in front of him. And he is going to take a shot kind of with both of his shields, and he's just gonna like pincher them right on Rowena. Rowena, let's see if that hits you. You're a lucky duck. Natural 1. But that is the end of its turn, as it will stay there. That will bring
Better
us
luck next time.
to Supreme Watcher Tion, though. Seeing
Hey.
that, the Supreme Watcher is going to cast. Yeah, he's fucking shit up, I think. He's gonna cast Inflict Wounds.
Oh god. Sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, he's gonna cast Inflict Wounds on you. So it's gonna be a +3 to hit. Man, I gotta change dice. He rolled a 6, so that misses. But that will end his turn. And that will move on to Ivo. Your turn.
Okay. How close can I get up to where the action's happening? Can I get right next to Rowena, right above her, and next to S1? How far can I go?
This is about 20 feet for you.
Yeah.
You can really only get about there. She was pretty far ahead based on where she was.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go to there, and then I'm gonna take my crossbow and try to hit S1 Watcher TM.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
Ooh, crossbow 22.
Nice.
So the defender, as you see that happen, he just goes and sticks out the shield, and the bolt like shatters on the shield. It doesn't hit him anywhere.
That's gonna be an issue. Shoot.
That's gonna be an
Shoo.
All right, that's all I got.
Zunis, that's gonna be your turn.
I am gonna follow suit and head over to the action as well, and do what I can once I've made the trek. Yeah.
You can get there.
Oh, nice. If I could, I would like to use my Wrathful Smite now, since I've been holding off all day.
You can cast it onto it, but remember, Wrathful Smite, you've got to hit with your weapon. You're not close enough to hit anything with your weapon here.
In that case, I will. Can I do my Nature's Wrath?
No, you got to be within 10 feet. Actually, let me check that. No, you can. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're in range. You can do that.
All right, I'll finally use my Nature's Wrath on. If I could use it on Tion, that'd be great. But I don't know if that Rowena's in the way.
You're in range of both. Yeah, you could get it on Tion if you wanted.
Zunis, I would recommend. I feel like if we keep trying to get Tion, that the creature is going to keep blocking our attacks. Even with I had a powerful roll, and it still didn't make it to Tion. So maybe taking care of
Not a bad idea.
creature.
What's the other guy's name?
You don't know, I guess,
creature.
its name, but it is a stone defensive creature. So let's call him a stone defender.
All right, Stone Defender. I am unleashing my Nature's Wrath spell.
Okay. So what's the DC on that for Nature's Wrath? Let's check. Actually, I don't think you can.
Oh, I can't?
Cause we just picked up right from last time. You didn't take a short rest between the last dungeon and this one.
Damn, I'm a fool.
It's still within that time frame.
All right. Well, I guess if I can't actually do any type of attack, then that's my turn.
That'll be Lady Rowena. Back to your turn.
I'd like to use my rapier on the stone man.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit on that.
23.
That does hit. Go ahead and roll damage now.
Okay. $18.
18. I just need to check your rapier out real quick. Burp, 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 burp. Your rapier is not magical at all, right?
No, I don't think I have anything magical
Cool.
aside from my sending stone.
So you've done this quite a bit. You have hit before, but as you hit with this rapier, it just like chinks off.
Oh god.
Doesn't seem to take any damage.
Wait, so my rapier like snapped off?
It didn't break, but it it just like hit one of its shields and just like stopped. It landed. You felt like that was enough to hit it, but it did no damage. You get the sense that regular weapons aren't going to do anything to this creature.
This creature is terrifying. Okay, I'd like to back up a little because I think I'm a sitting duck here.
So yeah, you use your bonus action to disengage so you don't get an attack of opportunity. How far back do you want to go?
Just all the way to the wall on the left. Yep, that's perfect.
Thad, that brings us to your turn.
Excellent. I'm going to move. Let's see. So it looks like that's about what, 15 feet across the.
Yeah, like 10, 15 across the
okay.
chasm there.
Excellent. We're gonna do. Let me see. I think I'm gonna cast a flaming sphere across the way. Kind of behind those two, or to the right of those two, rather.
Kind of just hit them on it?
Sorry?
Just so you can hit them in it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a 15-foot sphere. That's a big sphere of fire. It just. But let's
That's
see
awesome.
if they take
Nice.
full damage. They are. One of them is. So. The Supreme Watcher is going to take full damage. The Stone
Sweet.
Defender is going to take half damage. So go ahead and roll damage.
Cool.
This is 2d6.
9 points for the Watcher. And half of 9 for the Defender.
What is that? 5, let's call it? 5. So the Stone Defender doesn't seem to take much, but Tion is like he's screaming in fiery pain. He's about to die. And in this moment, he says, "Wait!" and just slams that down. And you see the Stone Defender kind of like start to stand back up. And that's kind of what he says as he hears this fire kind of go through. And he goes, "You don't understand what you're doing."
Oh shit. Tion's dead?
He's almost dead.
He's trying to talk to us.
Well, guess we don't understand.
What are you talking about, old man? And speak fast.
You can call me old as much as you want, but old brings wisdom. The Erzatzi are here for a reason.
What was here for a reason? Out of game?
I'll spell it. Let me spell it. Erzatzi. Erzatzi.
What is this place?
This is a gathering area. It's a space for us to meet without others knowing what's going on. If the surface knew of this, it would be worse than the calamity.
And what of Helm? Does Helm know of this?
Boy, you think that gods have anything to do with this, then you are mistaken. They abandoned us centuries ago. We tell stories to children, fairy tales, to make them believe that they exist, but they don't. Nothing saved us but our ingenuity and our our ability to want to live more than die.
Saved us from what?
The end. We did destroy the world.
Am I allowed to talk or no? This is combat.
No, you're all good.
I think we can all yell
He's
at
kind of stopped combat temporarily, at least.
Hmm.
Can you please, at least while you're messing around here, can you clear our names?
There's no leaving this place. You think if you
Why
go back
would
up there and
you
tell them
kill
what you saw here
Walker
that they'll
Sim?
believe you? You're just as foolish.
Yeah, why'd you kill Watcher Sim?
That was unfortunate. But the truth is I didn't kill him. He left before we were able to silence his outbursts.
Outbursts, did you say?
He wasn't supposed to know what the world spikes were. His research led somewhere he shouldn't have gone. The Tsurl put the world spikes in place long ago to make sure that the islands never fell. The gods abandoned us. You don't believe me, but they did. The only reason any of us are still alive is because the Tsurl make it so.
And what do the Tsurl want in return?
We don't want to die. We live here just as long as any of you. Wouldn't you want the same?
Are you saying they'll die if the islands sink into the ocean?
Wouldn't all of us if we plummeted thousands of feet to the surface?
Fair point.
To a miasma of molten rock and churning seas?
But then why not protect the god spikes and raise awareness instead of murdering people and throwing innocent people into jail and
Because the world spikes
overreacting?
didn't come from gods. They're man-made. And if we shook the people's belief in what saved us in the first place, the whole system would crash. We do this in secret to protect us from petty squabbles of politics and rulership.
But religious wars come and go. If we all die because you're asleep at the wheel, then we're gonna die.
Well, clearly we aren't asleep at the wheel. And if it wasn't for you and your ignorance, this would never have even had to come to this place anyway. You would have gone the rest of your life in whatever drunken stupor you've usually been in. And he kind of looks over at Thad when he says that. You think Helm told you that I was wrong? It was just a drunk vision of some coincidence.
Well, we're gonna have to kill you.
I think that would be incredibly stupid. But kill me and it won't matter. This is bigger than me or you or anyone else.
Who is that creature created our temple with?
Kind of rolls his eyes. Roll a persuasion check for me.
14.
If anything else, I am a pragmatist, as are the rest of the Tsurl. We do what must be done, and sometimes that means forging unsavory alliances with creatures we wouldn't typically. But if you really want to ask, you should ask him, and he points over to Zunis. It's likely he who brought him here in the first place.
Zunis?
Zunis.
I have done nothing of the sort. This man's been known to point fingers.
Oh, haven't you?
He's accused me of murder.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
You used your magics to arrive here, and shortly after you did, more of these creatures arrived. We were forced to agree to some tributes and taxes to avoid the rest of their ilk infesting our world and pulling us down in honor of their god Umberly. And again, we are beset by disgusting gods who think they can control us.
I'm confused, Tian. Are the gods real, or are they real and malevolent, or are they fake?
they exist, but their hand in the world isn't as benevolent as you might say. We tell stories of the savior gods as if they actually saved the world, but they didn't. They abandoned us to our own devices. And the Azatsarai have learned that that's not true. This god is purely, strictly evil. And she just demands more. And we have long been out of her realm.
So, what are you going to get out of this alliance with your Zatsura?
A tenuous peace, perhaps? Not needing to send innocent sons and sisters to their deaths?
Then come to us, Tian. We are a noble people. We're trying to save the world as well.
How are you trying to save the world? You don't even know what you're doing.
You know nothing of who I am.
He kind of shuts up at that, doesn't really give you much else.
What research was Watcher Sim working on?
From what he explained to us, he was attempting to send Zunis back. He discovered that others had traveled behind him, and I had lied in order to protect what was actually going on, and told him that it was handled and taken care of. Nosy as he was, he didn't believe me. And he sent you apparently after the world spikes, thinking that it was some type of teleportation device in his ignorance and his naivete. And here we are. He removed the very thing that actually protects us.
So what was the point then of faking his death and framing us, or at least Thad and Zunis' involvement in it?
Roll a persuasion check, Ivo.
Still getting a hold of those real dice.
Still, it's a roll off the table. 13.
So he looks at you and he kind of looks at Zunis and he says, "No one who knows of the world spikes can continue to exist."
I think we're in an impasse then.
That seems pretty extreme.
It does. But you must understand there is Atsarai have kept this secret for centuries. And it is not one that we would allow to escape. And if that means that I'll die here in defense of it, then I shall.
Well, it's either you or us.
Yeah. It's like we are at an impasse, and I don't know. We're definitely getting out of here alive. So let's finish this off then.
But before we do,
Yes.
where are the world spikes now? You stole our world spikes.
Roll another persuasion check.
Good luck.
5.
And he just says, very well then. And just like, you see the Stone Golem just back in action. And you're back in combat, and I think that left off on the Stone Defender's turn. Am I right in thinking that? Yes.
Yeah.
So Stone Defender kicks back on, and he is going to... He's going to try to stay as close to Supreme Watcher Tion as he can. But he's still going to try to attack. So he's just going to shift a little bit over and take a couple of hits with his slam attack on Zunis. He misses another 3. I'm going to change dice, I think. And that'll end his turn. And that'll bring us back to Supreme Watcher Tion, who will... What would he do? Yeah, he's going to try to haul ass. So he's going to go this way.
Yeah. Bye bye.
You're gonna have to go catch it.
Yeah, he's gonna go that way. And that will bring us to. Well, that was his movement. Does he want to do anything else with that? I think he does. He's gonna cast Hold Person. He's gonna cast Hold Person on Thad to try to just stop you from blocking his exit.
What is he casting on that?
Hold Person. So Thad, I need you to roll a saving throw. What saving throw is it though? Is the one I'm trying to find out. Wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh, good thing. 14.
That is enough. So yeah, you kind of feel it kind of paralyze you just for a bit, and you're about to topple over from the weight of your armor, and your muscles kind of slacking, but you do recover and are still okay. Ivo, that brings us to your turn.
Did he end up in my circle of flames as well?
Oh, he did, yeah.
Eh,
Well, that's gonna kill him then. That's the rule on things. So as he tries to escape, yeah, he couldn't get out of the flame reach. So he kind of burns and immolates, and you see him just crumple to the ground, dead.
Bye, Tian.
Nice.
Shit.
The Stone Defender. Let me just see if he stops when he stops. I don't think so. We'll find out. Yeah, he's still attacking, so the Stone Defender is still part of it. So, Ivo, your turn.
Okay. So the Stone Defender seems pretty well equipped against weapons.
But magic weapons? Have you gotten a hit in?
I don't have magic weapons.
I thought
Incorrect.
your sword was magic.
You do.
Oh, is my sword magic?
It's actually got just a
You have
friendly reminder. It actually has a very helpful attack in this point.
my Shatter Spike does?
Yes.
You have 1+1 attacking damage. This magic. Oh, I have to make it a magic weapon.
It just is a magic weapon in and of itself. It's just a
Oh.
+1 magic bonus, so it counts as a magic kit.
Okay. How do I know what the spell is to it?
Oh, the spell's just part of it.
Oh, okay.
It gets bonuses for attacking objects.
Right.
Okay, I guess so. I'm gonna move closer to the Stone Defender, so I'm able to hit him with my Shatter Spike, and I'm gonna try to strike him in the body, as close center as I can, away from those shields.
Yeah, roll to hit. Are you using one hand or two on this?
I'm using 2 on everything. Yeah.
Okay. So roll to hit.
Tell him to defend us.
21.
That hits. Go ahead and
Hey.
roll damage. That's 1d10 plus 3.
Where's my 10? 4.
I just want to check one thing. So I'm gonna count it as you're hitting an object because this thing isn't real. So it actually is gonna be an automatic critical when you hit on it. So that's gonna be 10 plus 10 plus 3. So actually, sorry, roll your 1d10 again, and we're gonna add 4.
Do I add anything to it?
No, we're just gonna add 4 plus that extra roll that you get.
3.
Okay, so 7 points of damage to our friend here. Still standing. This guy's pretty tough, but you've been able to kind of make a pretty big nick in it on that one.
Cool.
Zunis, your turn, sir.
I have an idea, but I'm not sure it'll work.
Ideas
I know I have the wind. Would that potentially put like Ivo in this death pit circle fire thing, or would that only put? Because it seems like he's the one closest.
Let me check it. Is it the gust that you're trying to use? I think.
find it. Look at
Venus, I'm also resistant to fire, so the fire won't hurt me if you push me into it.
I don't know if I want to take that risk. DM, is that...
I mean, it won't hurt.
Yeah, I think you could do
Will he
that.
be okay if he goes in?
Yeah, I think you can do that.
And I won't get Thad or Lady Rowena in the way?
You will probably
guess.
get Ivo, but if you aim it, I think you can avoid. Like if you aim it, it's 10 feet wide. That's the hard part. So.
Would Ivo be okay no matter what?
I mean, he won't take damage from the wind, but he'll get pushed away. But if you aim it kind of in
Right,
the middle
if
of
he-
him, I'll say that you could push him towards the fire. Or actually, if
But I'm
you-
fire resistant.
Yeah, that's true. And he wouldn't take as much damage. The other thing you could do, if you wanted to aim it a little bit down, you could try and just push him straight this way, and maybe even get him to go into the water too. Then he'd have to try to.
I'm at an impasse here myself. I'm debating. I feel like I could do something really negative to a teammate. I don't think I want to take that risk, and I'm not going to take that risk. I am going to use my greatsword on the stone man.
Are you going to use any of your smites or anything?
Yes, absolutely.
Wrathful Smite?
If I can use my Wrathful Smite now, yeah, absolutely.
Sure. So you cast Wrathful Smite on that one. Go ahead and hit with your weapon. See if you hit it. So D20 plus 4.
18.
That hits. So you try to hit it with your weapon, and you notice the weapon damage doesn't seem to inflict anything because you don't have a magical weapon. But actually, hold on. Rule check for me. I'm incorrect. You put Smite on it, so it will still count as a magical item. So go ahead and roll damage for your weapon, and then we'll add the Wrathful Smite damage.
10.
Cool. So 10 points of damage, and then 1d6 for Wrathful Smite.
1.
So 7 points of damage to this guy. Starting to chip away at him as he's taking a little bit more. You started to figure out ways that you can possibly do some damage to him for yourself, Zunis, if you can cast Smite on your weapon before you hit. But he isn't frightened. He seems to be immune to being scared off, as if he's got some magical kind of essence driving him forward. Rowena, that brings us back to your turn.
But I don't have anything magical, so I can't really do much to him, can I?
Yeah, you're gonna get stuck. Let's see if there's anything that you can do though. Just looking through your options. No. Yeah, you don't have much you can do.
I'm pretty thoroughly human.
Thoroughly.
Trying to think of anything useful.
If you stay near your accomplices, you can do the help action, which will give them advantage on all of their attacks.
So should I pull up next to Ivo?
Yeah, you just gotta stay nearby him.
Okay,
That
I'll do
help
that.
action can be kind of helpful if you're a little stuck. So we'll just put you right next to him.
I'm here to help.
So that will be Thad's turn again.
Cool. I'm going to. Just move my flames over.
Just enough to get him.
Technically a bonus action, but that's kind of all I want to do. Yeah.
You don't want to cast any other spells at this guy?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'll hit him with a. I'll try and go for a guiding bolt, or actually, scorching ray. Yeah, I'll do a guiding bolt.
Okay. So he did fail the save for Flaming Sphere again. So roll 2d6 for that first.
3.
3 more points of damage to him, and then go ahead and see if you can hit him with your guiding bolt. Are you doing 5th level, 2nd level, or?
2nd level. So 16.
That just hits.
Cool.
Barely got him. Okay, so go ahead and roll
All
more
right.
damage on it now. This is 5d6, I think.
Yep. Let's see. 4 plus 5 is 9. I have to do so much math right now.
That's how I
That's my
always
favorite
do.
part of this
Plus
game.
2 is 11. Plus, oh my god, plus 1 is 12. Plus
Get it.
5 is
Come on,
7.
Jesse.
So 17 total.
Yeah.
Oh, 5, yeah.
Nice. So as he's like kind of still in the fire, still surrounded by this thing, another just big burst of energy flies through out of Thad's hands as it gets over to him, and like you see it kind of crack through one of the shields a little bit and take a big chunk out of this dude, but he is still standing and hasn't dead yet. This guy's huge and scary and beefy. But that will end Thad's turn. And that will bring us back to the Stone Defender, who is going to just use his slam again on the person right in front of him, which is Ivo in this case. And that 11 plus, what's his bonus for that? 17. Ivo, I think that hits you, yeah?
Yeah.
You take 11 points of damage as he just like hits it on it.
Woo.
And you're actually knocked prone. So you are you're like lying down on the ground. To get back up is going to take half your movement.
Guys, I'm starting to hurt a little bit.
What's your damage at right now, Ivo?
I'm down to 9.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Help
I'm
you
gonna
out.
use my turn. I'm gonna use my turn on that.
Nice.
Ivo, that brings us back to your turn though.
Shoot. Well. So I have to use half my turn to get back up.
Half your movement. So if you can normally go 30 feet, now you can only go 15 feet.
Oh.
Gotcha. I'm gonna get back up, and then take my same deal. Take my shadow spike back at him. But yeah, definitely use my first move to get up, and then attack.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit. And
No
you're going to get advantage
retreating.
because Rowena is helping you. So roll twice.
Okay, so just roll twice.
Mhm.
God. 13. No, sorry, 15.
Not enough to get through this guy's armor still.
Ooh.
Um,
No, I didn't have good rolls that time.
anything else you want to do on your
Alright,
turn?
that's all I can do.
Might be,
No, that's all.
This might be the time to like use some of your abilities. You get the sense this is the big monster, so maybe an action surge or something else.
Oh, okay. Hey, hold on. There's actually another thing I want to do.
You've got a few abilities that would help. One, you have second wind that you could use as a bonus action to try to like get some of your health back.
Okay. Oh, I get it. One per.
Yeah, you can also use your action surge and get one more attack in there if you'd like. So.
Let me do. Yeah, let me do the action surge and try to attack him again.
Okay. So go ahead and roll to hit again. Again, you're getting advantage on that.
Okay, let me just mark it that I used it. Cool. Ooh, I think this is gonna be much better. Yeah, this time around it is 23.
Nice. Okay, that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll your damage, and it's gonna automatically crit. So just add 10 to whatever you roll.
Ooh, 21.
21.
Nice.
All right. So as you're kind of looking at this creature and you're like, "Fuck this mess," and you just get all your energy, just clear through. You kind of don't see anything at first, but after a second, like the top half of one of the shields just kind of like slides off, and the creature kind of crumples to the ground. It's no longer functioning in front of you.
Nice.
You guys have seemingly cleared all of these things out of this space.
Hey.
Nice.
Thad, I would like you to roll a perception check then.
What? What?
Perception check.
Sweet. Wish me luck. Whee! 19.
You are a lucky duck. Well, I wouldn't say lucky. Not necessarily a bad thing. She rolled an 18. So as this kind of wraps up and you're focused on this fight in front of you, you hear a footstep land right behind you. And just a bit of like a touch at the back of your hairs on your neck, and you whip around. And as soon as you whip around, you see a woman, very, very striking. She's quite pretty. Dark skin, not super tall, but taller than you as a dwarf. Seems very almost regal in a way, the way that she carries herself, but also very graceful. The thing that you notice first about her, though, are that there's two things. One, that there are these tattoos that seem to kind of like wrap around her arms, and they seem to be kind of like abstract lines and shapes. One of which is glowing right now. The other thing that seems very striking is she looks almost exactly like Watcher Sim.
Huh.
And she kind of has her hand out as she was about to grab you, and she sees that you've now seen her, and she just stops, kind of like, oh shit.
Who are you?
I'm nobody. No one.
Nobody. I'm gonna grab her arm.
roll an athletics check for me real quick.
13.
Oh, man.
So she kind of sees you go to grab the arm. She knocks it out of your way and she goes, "Listen, there's no need for that. Okay, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just here trying to do a little bit of fact finding. Looks like you guys were doing the same." And she kind of looks over at Supreme Watcher Tion, and I don't. Man, I shouldn't be here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go if it's cool. I'm gonna leave. And she starts trying to like pack
I'm
away.
gonna use command and have her halt.
What's the DC on command?
It is I can't see. Wisdom 13.
She fails, so she does stop. Okay. I'll stay here. It's cool. It's all good. It's all good.
Are you of Watcher Sim's kinship?
Roll a roll a persuasion check.
Is it Watcher Sim?
Roll a persuasion check and a history check.
Okay. Persuasion and history.
Yeah.
Persuasion 18, history 7.
So, yeah, you don't know who she is, but she does share. Well, I guess no better time like the present to share. I'm his daughter. And I was here trying to find out what happened to you. I saw you guys get arrested, and I figured if they're accusing you of it, then I should probably keep an eye and see if I can find out what happened and see if we can find his body.
Did you
sure.
set
Go ahead.
my... Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Well, if your intentions are so pure, why did you say you were nobody?
I didn't think it would be wise to make a scene, and I just wanted to see if I could get a better look at the symbol you guys had. So I tried to take it, that's all.
What were you saying, Thad?
I was just curious. You know, it seems to me as though, you know, Watcher Sim was someone who I trusted, apparently one of the few people in the temple who deserved my trust. And I'm just as curious about his disappearance as you are, so perhaps we can help each other out.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I've, truth be told, kind of mapped out this whole place. I've been here a bit. I got in a little bit ahead of you guys, so I know this place a little bit. There's a few things that stand out as interesting, for sure. What did you have in mind?
Well, I guess if you can help us with our investigation, you know, I'd be more than happy to at least show you the symbol. No need to sneak around in the shadows and try and thieve it off of me.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I don't know what I was thinking.
Wait, I want to know. There's not too many places to hide in here. I feel like there's only a couple tunnels and they're patrolled and well lit. you just got in here. You've been here a while. Where have you been hiding, or what have you been doing this whole time? It seems like there's guards in every room.
And she kind of laughs.
This is my companion, Ivo. I know he's a little scarier. He looks pretty scary, but he's okay.
Yeah, I've actually, I guess, truth be told, I've been watching you guys for a while. And it's funny you ask how I was hiding. And she takes, like, out of a pouch kind of on her side, and she takes, like, this little pan flute out of it that's, like, really filigreed, and on the end of each little flute are actual, like, little skulls on them. And you hear her play kind of this little haunting tune, and she says, sight is only needed by the blind, and she just disappears. And then you hear the song again, and she reappears.
Oh.
Oh shit!
That's a pretty nifty trick.
Anyway, I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, we haven't found a body yet, and it seems pretty clear you guys didn't kill him, and from what I overheard, neither did he. And she just has this, like, really kind of menacing look on her face now as she is mentioning Supreme Watcher Tion. So maybe he's still alive somewhere. These tunnels don't stop here. There's a few more things in this area. I think there's actually a way even further underneath. I've seen a few of them use the tunnels when they didn't think I was watching. I just couldn't figure out how to get into it. I also I saw them take some of your stuff further in. So there's a possibility you can maybe get something from that. I don't know if that had any other information that you guys needed.
DM, may I ask an out-of-game question for real quick?
Yeah, 100%.
Did we give away the bag that had an unlimited amount of space in it?
Yes, they took it. They took it from you when you got arrested.
And is it it's not in our possession, but it's somewhere in this location?
You don't know if it's somewhere in this location, but it's not in your possession. Could be.
Got it. Okay.
She did say, like, she saw them take some of your stuff, so maybe.
Right. That's what I just remembered the bag. Cool. Okay, that was it.
Well, this cult has proven to be very dangerous, as I'm sure you've seen, borne witness to. Obviously, you can sneak your way through, but how are you in a fight?
I can take care of myself if I need to.
Well, look, I gangs.
It's not for me.
I trust her. I knew Watcher Sim well, and in a lot of ways, it's Watcher Sim who brought us all together. Rowena, I believe, he was your kind of connection to our group as well. So, if his blood stands before us, I think we should let her join us.
I'm wary of trusting people, but she does seem more honorable than anyone we've met yet in this temple. Present company.
What is your name?
Bettany Sim.
Bettany Sim. Well, very pleased to meet you, Bettany Sim.
Pleased to meet you as well. And again, I'm sorry for I'm sorry for the intrusion. I really didn't mean anything by it. It's just this isn't something I do often, I guess. But maybe I can make it up to you. And she still has the pan flute in her possession. And you before she puts it to her mouth, she says, "To take care of others is the greatest kindness." And she's kind of saying it in this almost like poetic spoken word kind of beat, and then she blows another little tune on these pipes, and she casts Healing Word on Ivo, seeing that he's the most damaged, and you get a certain amount of health back. Let's see how much exactly. You get 6 points of health back.
Nice.
Thank you for healing my friend.
Like I said, I just want to find out what happened to my dad. We weren't close, but anyway, let's get going. I can show you the rest of the way here. I've taken care of one of the guards already at the next post. So.
Excellent. Let's move on, and I lift the spell that's been holding her, of course. And as we walk, I'm curious, Bethany, did you know anything of your father's work?
I'm not sure I like to talk too much about my dad. Roll a persuasion check.
16.
So she does share. We weren't very close. I don't really know much of anything he was doing in his position. We haven't really seen much of each other since I was a little girl. You see, my mother and him were not very kind to one another. But he was still my father, and I know he cared for me if he wasn't always around. I just hope that I can find him before it's worse.
You and me both, sister. I know exactly what that's like.
Yeah, fathers can be very important, I think.
Yeah. What do you say we get out of here?
Yeah, there's probably a few other things you should see. So she kind of escorts you, and I think what I'll do, since you have someone with you...
DM, may I ask, did
Yeah.
she just watch our whole fight and not help?
She did. She did. She did.
After she claimed that she was decent at combat?
She did. Yes. 100%.
Yeah. Okay, just checking.
I'm gonna just stop presenting for a quick. Hold on 1 second. Burp. None. I'm gonna just adjust something real fast.
In her defense, she didn't oversell. I don't think she oversold her combat abilities. She just answered it with one word.
Sure.
Just that she's fine.
Fine. It's fine. You're fine. Everyone's fine. Okay. I want to reveal.
Well, I certainly feel as though, despite the words of the traitorous Supreme Leader, or whatever his name is, Supreme Watcher, that Helm has plans for all of us, and Helm has obviously brought this one into our lives. It's time you actually all should know a little bit about my history with the Supreme Watcher.
Do you want to say this in front of her?
It concerns her father, perhaps most of all.
All right, well, in that case, feel free.
I'm listening.
So,
There's more to know.
very, very shortly before we all crossed paths, I had a vision from Helm. Or, well, I don't know for certain that it was where it came from, but I stand true to believing that it came to me from Helm, and Helm told me, a voice in the temple, to call out against the Supreme Watcher, that he was corrupt, that he was leading the church astray. And unfortunately, as you all know, I haven't been the purest of people in my life, and no one believed me. They thought I was a drunk, raving lunatic, and I was put on desk duty down in the bowels of the temple. But it was at that time that Watcher Sim came to me and told me about Zunis, and requested that I help get Zunis home. And that's what brought us all together, is seeking that solution out. And of course, the God Spikes are wrapped up in all of this as well. But I thought you should know the history of the man that we just killed.
I'm starting to wonder if me being sent home is for the good of the world more so than the good of my being and, state of happiness.
Yeah. I mean, what was it that brought you to this world anyway? And you don't have to from our new friend.
No. I was in combat myself and had a miraculous feat of strength that came out of nowhere. And I was heroic. I had a wife. I had a life. I had everything. And then one day I woke up and I was in the Temple of Hell. and I didn't know what to do. I gained consciousness that I was breathing air. I'd never done that before. I'm underwater creature. I was pretty, secretive about that at first, but I'm open now. And yeah, I lived in the temple for 10 years, just about, and I started to understand the words of Helm, and then when I was sent on this mission with you, I was incredibly grateful. But now I think it's bigger than just me being sent home. I think it's, maybe prevent people from me ever coming again.
Yeah.
Or creatures. Yeah.
Before we move on to like the rest of this place, can we do a perception check or investigate this room to see if we can, if there's anything that was left behind by those underwater creatures and stuff?
Yeah. So roll a investigation check for me. Anyone who's searching.
Investigation 12.
So nothing seems to be stand out. You do see that there are there's almost like a specific trail that kind of leads into the canal for like a small. It's not meant for people, and it looks like ropes and like pulleys are kind of there. So they were clearly lowering something into the water that they were giving to, you assume, other scions or other sea creatures that were then taking it away. But the thing that stands out to you most really stands out to Zunis and to Thad, and that's the giant staff double hammer that Supreme Watcher Tion had. That is essentially like the symbol of the Supreme Watcher, and it's known to you as something that has a very magical property to it. You've never been able to hold it, but you know that only a Watcher of Helm could use this weapon, which kind of sparks some light bulbs in you because you remember that the Supreme Watcher never used it against you in this battle. But if you, because you know what it is, I will link it in chat. Hold on one second.
Yeah, can I go pick that thing up?
Of course. Let me just find it here real quick. So you pick it up. Are you taking it? You're kind of grabbing it?
Heck yeah.
Okay. So you get this. I'm going to send you a link to it. I think it'll work. And I'm going to put it in your inventory.
Sweet.
A couple of things just real quick procedurally about this thing, mechanically. So this is a homebrewed weapon. I made this. What that means is it may prove not super great, and it may prove too great. So we might adjust it as it kind of gets use. So
Cool.
just to know, it might be a little overpowered or underpowered, and we'll kind of balance that out as we use it. But I think it's really cool, so I think it'll work out pretty well. But I am putting it in your inventory. You also do pick up on him a similar symbol of the Erzatsarai, but it is a little bit bigger, and you notice that this symbol is actually double-sided. It's got the symbol on both sides, not just the front. And on the back, it's almost like the spirals that it kind of create kind of protrude a little bit.
Cool.
All right. So
Anyone want to grab that too?
and anyone else who had a symbol before that was previously an unidentified symbol, you know now to be a symbol of the Erzatsarai.
Great.
Good to know.
Yeah, I'll take
The remaining inventory.
He also had
Grab the loot.
20 gold pieces on him. Have like a little pouch.
Sweet.
That we can split evenly. I will add 5 for myself. Sweet. Are you sharing with Watcher Sim's daughter?
No, she didn't fight.
Yeah.
She doesn't
no.
seem to, she doesn't even like you actually
Alright.
do notice this, that she doesn't even want to move toward Supreme Watcher Tion. There's a hesitance there, a resistance.
I don't blame you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna add 5 gold.
DM, Matt and I should wrap it up in about 20 minutes or so we can put in an appearance on my mom's family Zoom call.
100%. Well, it's kind of up to you. There's probably about, we could probably get through the rest in about 20 minutes. We have all the scenes done. So you kind of, like, Bettany escorts you through the rest. The first place she takes you is to Treasure Vault, kind of in the bottom corner. You do notice that the guards here have somehow been subdued. They aren't dead, but they seem to be asleep. Bettany kind of jokes and kind of points to her pipes a little bit. But she still tells you to stay quiet and try not to make a huge fuss. If you look in the vault, you do see that there is quite a bit of treasure amassed in that space. The gates are basically like cemented into the rock, kind of that's been closed out. There is a kind of a circular hole on the right side of it. It's like a keyhole, but it's not like a keyhole you've seen.
Where am I looking on the map with the keyhole?
In the bottom.
The circled?
This area.
The orange circle?
The pink one. So it's basically like Bettany kind of takes you to where she thinks she saw your stuff get taken. And you do see it, but it is behind a locked grate. And there are a lot of other things. There's gold piled up, there's chests. This was clearly like what they were using to store their tributes that they were feeding to the undersea creatures. So you can try to unlock it, or you can try to figure out how to open up this weird key.
Yeah, let's try to unlock it.
Who's trying to unlock it?
Marina, do you want to try to use your tools?
Oh yeah, I'll use my thieves' tools.
Let's try this real quick first. Rowena, roll a perception check. You were muted. I think it was a 20 from what I saw.
21.
Yeah, perfect. So that circle looks to be almost the exact same size of what the symbol was that you got off of Watcher Tion, and you notice that it is cut in and has the spiral insets in it.
Oh. Let's use that then.
You want to try to put the symbol in there?
Yeah, let's do it.
So Zunis walks over, puts it in there. You kind of feels it push in place, turns it, just, and the gate just hinges open. And you have access to it now.
Nice.
So you do see quite a plethora of things in here. Probably the thing that jumps out at you first is your bag of holding is in here. And you open it up, and you can get your Mirror of the Past back, but the world spikes are not in here. The world spikes have been removed and taken elsewhere. But additionally in this place, you actually also find someone get ready to write this down. 2,200 silver pieces.
I got it.
Anna's got it.
120 gold pieces. 20 platinum pieces.
Ooh.
2 bloodstones.
Mm.
1 citrine. 1 star rose quartz. 3 moonstones.
Ooh, quite a haul.
Also buried.
DM, did you say 100 or 120 gold pieces?
120 gold pieces.
Oh, I'll fix that.
You can edit, yeah.
The other thing, you do notice around that there are bits of... There are weapons here, other stockpiled items. A lot of them seem mundane, but a few of them kind of seem to have a bit of a glow. You're not 100% sure what they do, but here's kind of what they look like. One looks to be like a trident, like a straight up pitchfork that has a little bit of a glow. You also see these boots that are kind of leather, but they almost look like they're kind of like scaled together and almost look like they're shaped into like points, and they seem like of elvish make. And then finally you see an amulet, and this amulet looks like a little bit of like a wooden kind of icon carved into a bit of like a pinecone acorn thing, and it smells strongly of ale.
Is this yours, Thad?
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually
That this is an intervention.
shockingly unfamiliar with it.
Is anyone trying to figure out what these things are?
I'd like
Yeah.
to try and figure out what they are.
Anyone who would like to try to figure out what they are, roll an identity, an Arcana check for me.
Cool.
D20.
Yep, D20 plus your Arcana skill, and unless anyone has the identifiability, which I don't think you guys do.
No.
I have 14.
16.
14.
Okay. Everyone got over a 13, I think, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna include them in chat for you. And then we can end there. I think the next portion we can pick up later. All right, so here's the amulet that smells of ale. Here's the boots.
Amulet of the drunkard.
Check out what it does. It's pretty cool.
And then here
Whoa,
is the
that's
trident.
great.
And the trident is basically a trident +1, which means it's just a weapon +1 to a stat, but it's a trident specifically. So whoever picks it
Whoa,
up needs
cool
to have
elven
proficiency.
boots.
Oh, this is awesome.
So wait, sorry, the trident is... I kind of missed what you said about that.
It's the weapon +1, so it's a +1 trident basically.
Oh,
Basically,
cool.
It'll give you a bonus to attack and to damage.
Nice. Awesome.
Has to be booze. Has to have alcohol in it.
Gotta be booze. Well,
So
do we want to divvy up this treasure?
let's do it.
Yeah.
Bethany, you want any of this?
I mean, I thought this was all your stuff. If you're offering, I guess I'll take some gold.
Okay. Yeah, let's. This is more than we need. She's just lost her father. Let's toss her some gold.
Okay.
So
I mean,
120 divided by 5. 24.
I'll use
This is
it.
all you do this. I can't do this.
So we each get 24 gold pieces.
Okay. How much of the rest, Sunis?
Let me add my gold first. Okay, and then 2200 divided by 4 is 5. So that's 400 and
You can leave out Bettany. Bettany seems to be okay on funds.
Alright, well, we gave her some gold, because I'm not going to go back.
So I
For 2200 silver divided by 4, it's 500. 550, I think, is what we get for silver.
Silver.
I'll take your word for it.
Platinum is, there's 4 of us, 5 platinum apiece.
5 platinum, you said?
Yeah, and then the bloodstones, citrine, star, rose quartz, and 3 moonstones are not official currency, I don't believe, correct, Dean?
They
Yeah,
probably
you have to-
translate to some money.
Yeah, they're all about 50 gold worth. But you can just throw them all in the
So
bag of
that's-
holding if you want. So whoever has the bag, which I think is Thad.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, let's toss them in.
I can do that for you.
Awesome, thanks.
So there's a bit more to this place, but we can pick up next time if you guys have to bounce.
What do you think, Matt?
Well, we're gonna eat real fast, I imagine, and then go on to the call.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's okay.
We're like 99%. We'll just do
Yeah.
the last little bit and then we'll pick up and go to the next after.
Awesome.
Right. I would do this. I would do this next weekend if you guys are free.
1 o'clock might work again for me. Later in the evening is usually a little better, but I can do whatever. If it's easier in the afternoon for you, we can do that.
Oh, evening is fine with me too.
One quick question, DM.
Shoot.
Like our typical Q&A at the end. I don't know if anyone else has questions, but when we went through that guide before Tion that told Rowena we never understand this world, was it about the Azatsurai?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. All right.
Yeah,
That
there
was
was
it.
a lot of forks in this one, and I'll put it that way. A lot of different things could have happened.
Like what?
Well, you sounded the alarm, so people knew that you were coming, so they left. You might not have fought the Stone Defender at the end. You might have found Bettany a completely different way. And there's still one room you guys haven't checked out yet. So.
Yeah.
I'm
that makes sense.
excited to know Bettany more.
She's a cool character. I think I like her abilities. We'll see if she gets a chance to use them some.
Nice.
Did you guys have any other questions before we bounce?
I don't think so. I'm good.
Cool. Well, I'll see you guys soon.
This is a lot of fun. Thanks, man.